The decision to hold Nick Pope over Fabianski last game week didn't pay off, after David Moyes steered his side to a 4-0 win over Bournemouth on his return. Leicester and Liverpool were amongst the 5 teams that kept clean sheets, while Kelly conceded just a single goal to Norwich. Fortunately, that goal came via Cantwell, who was the man to sub in off the bench in place of Jamie Vardy, who missed out with a minor calf injury. James Maddison also stepped up in Vardy's absence, while Sadio Mane found his 4th consecutive return, since being rested back in game week 16. There were no returns for Jimenez as Wolves suffered a 2-1 defeat to Watford, but Abraham kept things ticking over up front with an assist against Brighton. For a second game week running, it was a score of 60 points, and that saw a small green arrow up to around 53,000. There are 2 free transfers available for game week 22, and the plan is to use them both. Burnley have 4 fairly tough fixtures in a row, so now seems like a good time to move on Nick Pope. There are a number of options to replace him, as discussed in yesterday's Q&A video, but with the double game week on the horizon for West Ham, a short-term punt on Fabianski is the plan. After failing to return points in his last 2 outings against Norwich and Southampton, Dele Alli is the second potential transfer out, ahead of a meeting with Liverpool. Richarlison makes sense in terms of a like-for-like swap, with form and fixtures on his side, though Anthony Martial is an alternative, providing he recovers from illness by the weekend. The only issue in making that move is that it leaves De Bruyne as the only possible route to get Salah in game week 24, and selling the Belgian would come with huge risks of its own. Ultimately though, finding the funds to upgrade Ali to Salah with the current setup is incredibly tricky anyway. With all that being said, no transfers have been made as of yet, but here's how the team is likely to line up for game week 22. Whilst West Ham's fixtures aren't the best in the long term, the next 4 game weeks hold some promise, and there's also the appeal of a double game week in the near future. Fabianski has averaged 5.1 points per game over 9 appearances this season, with only McGovern faring better amongst goalkeepers, though the Norwich backup has only featured twice. Alexander-Arnold takes on a somewhat out-of-form Spurs side, who failed to win any of their last 3 matches in all competitions, drawing with Norwich and Middlesbrough and losing to Southampton. Soyuncu and Lundstram face favourable home fixtures as Leicester take on Southampton for the first time since that incredible 9-0 win back in October. Maddison ranks joint 6th amongst midfielders with a tally of 4 shots on target in the last 4 game weeks, despite having had his minutes managed over Christmas. Southampton appear to have tightened up defensively since their previous meeting with Leicester, conceding 13 goals in the last 11 matches, with only 3 teams faring better. De Bruyne has been directly involved in 7 goals in the last 5 game weeks, and no midfielder has fired more efforts on target during that period. Aston Villa have conceded the most goals and big chances in the last 6 game weeks. No player across all positions has had more big chances than Sadio Mane in the last 4 game weeks. He also ranks first during that period with an XG of 3.5. Spurs have failed to keep a clean sheet in the last 4 game weeks, conceding 6 goals, with only 4 teams shipping more. Everton's narrow defeat to Man City saw Richarlison continue his forward role, alongside Calvert-Lewin, to net his 7th goal of the season. No midfielder has scored more than his 5 goals in the last 10 game weeks, with only Salah, Mane and De Bruyne matching that tally. Brighton have shipped 11 goals in their last 6 away matches, with only 3 teams faring worse. Brendan Rodgers has revealed that Vardy is fit to face Aston Villa in the League Cup semi-final midweek, ahead of the game week 22 meeting with Southampton. The Leicester forward has 8 goals and 3 assists in 10 home matches this season, averaging 7 points per game at the King Power Stadium. Jimenez has directly contributed to 5 goals in the last 6 game weeks, taking 19 goal attempts, with only Calvert-Lewin and Rashford firing more amongst forwards. Injuries to the Newcastle backline have seen them ship 9 goals in the last 4 game weeks, which is more than any other side, and only Aston Villa have conceded more big chances. Whilst Abraham has only returned 1 goal and 1 assist in the last 6 game weeks, only Jesus has fired more than his 21 shots inside the box amongst forwards. Burnley have conceded 11 goals in their last 6 away matches, with only Everton, Bournemouth and Villa faring worse. Kevin De Bruyne is a strong contender for captaincy, ahead of a trip to a very porous Aston Villa defence. But providing he's set for a return to the starting lineup, it will be hard to overlook Jamie Vardy. Southampton have improved defensively, but Leicester have continued to show impressive form in front of goal since that 9-0 victory last time around, netting 21 goals between game weeks 11 and 21, while no side were afforded more than their 34 big chances.